I was essentially out of school and not talking to my peers for 8 months. I could feel judged even when I was alone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin, and something you may not know about me is that I have social anxiety disorder. So what is social anxiety disorder? According to the National Institute of Mental Health, a person with social anxiety disorder feels anxiety or fear when they are in a situation where they could be publicly scrutinized or judged by others. So, for example, a time where you may feel judged by others is when you're talking to a cashier, going on a date, going on a job interview, etc. So I bet you're wondering how I got to this place where I developed this really strong sense of social anxiety. First of all, we have to talk to people every day. So how did it even develop? And why is it more important than just normal social anxiety? What makes it so different? For me, I always had a history of being shy and being anxious. And I would have periods in my life where I would be social, but then something would happen and I would be more recluse and in my shell. But it was manageable for me. And I really didn't develop a strong social anxiety until I was about 15. And I think when you're this age, you are very aware of what your peers are thinking of you. This was like a really pivotal time for me. When I was 15, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. So I had to get a scoliosis surgery to reverse my spinal cord alignment. And during this time, I had to take a semester off from school. I was essentially out of school and not talking to my peers or anyone around me for a semester plus the summer. So that was about 8 months of me not talking to anyone. Before I left to get my surgery, I felt really close with all of my friends. I felt like we had a great group going and a good dynamic. However, when I returned from my scoliosis surgery the next year, I could feel that there was like a shift between me and my friends. I could tell that they continued to get closer together and build their relationships together, and I was not really a part of it anymore. I felt like I had missed out on a lot. I also kind of like lost some of my socialization skills, so I couldn't relate to them in the same way that I once did, even though they were really close friends that I had for a long time. So when you're 15, you kind of just blame yourself a little bit for not having the same relationship that you once did. And basically, I was isolated throughout the rest of high school. I didn't really get along with my friends in the same way that I once did. This kind of continued into college. So basically, for the rest of high school, I kind of did my own thing and stuck to myself because I didn't really get along with my friends in the same way that I once did. College is a time where you have to put yourself out there and make new friends, and I just didn't have the experience or the skills to do that. After having a really hard freshman year, I decided to take a semester off from school. This was when I realized how bad my social anxiety had gotten. It wasn't just that I couldn't talk to new people, I couldn't make new friends. It wasn't just I feel self-conscious when I'm in public. It was I can't really talk to my friends. I can't really talk to my close family. I feel self-conscious even when I'm alone. And not only that, I could feel myself yearning for something more. Like I wanted to connect with other people. I wanted to overcome whatever I was experiencing at the time. But I honestly truly felt like there was something wrong with me and that I wasn't able to change. At this time, I didn't really know what was wrong with me. I knew that I had some form of social anxiety. However, I also kind of felt that there was something wrong with me and that there was a reason I couldn't connect to other people the way that they could connect to each other. And I could feel myself yearning for that. Like, I really wanted to relate to other people. I wanted to talk to other people. I just didn't know how. And I didn't know if I ever could, but I wanted to try anyways. I did a lot of research on how to talk to other people. I remember Googling how to start conversations with people, watching YouTube videos. I tried to learn how to have my own sense of humor. Things that you really need. You don't even realize that it's a skill, but it is a skill. So it's about 8 years later, and I do feel like I have successfully overcome my social anxiety disorder. If you work and you put in the effort over a period of time, you can notice a change in yourself, and you'll notice that you are improving, and you'll feel so proud of yourself. So after doing all of that research, I've developed a few different tips to help people work out of their own social anxiety that I wish I had known. These tips aren't really skills that I can just give to you. They're just good things to know that will change your perspective once you're getting over your social anxiety disorder. So my first tip is to really just get out of your comfort zone. I feel like when you have social anxiety disorder, this is the last thing you want to do. However, this is the most important step because you really can't get over social anxiety unless you have some exposure therapy. So really just doing things like public speaking, talking to your crush, going to a party you were invited to alone. Things that you think might be embarrassing are going to be the things that really help you realize that it's not that bad. And the blessing is that most people aren't really thinking that much about you, but I know that we're all still afraid of how we're being perceived. I mean, that's why we have social anxiety disorder, and it's really good to put yourself in a position where people are perceiving you and they are thinking about you because it's building character for you. So you want to put yourself in positions where you're gonna be seen and you're gonna be heard, because those are the times where you really truly face yourself and can overcome your social anxiety. I mean, not everyone is going to like you, not everyone is going to approve of the things that you're doing, but at the end of the day, this is when you can really sit with yourself and face your fears of shame and rejection. Once you really process those fears, that's when you become the best version of yourself and you start feeling a lot more empowered in who you are, and you also just start to shine a little bit more. You know, this isn't just about getting over your social anxiety. This is about you coming out of your shell and being the person that you've always wanted to be. My next tip is about being present in the moment. This is the thing that I am personally the worst at. I am such a space cadet. However, being present is really important because that's when you're just living in the moment and you're enjoying what's happening around you and you're responding to things instead of living in your head worried about what other people are thinking of you. Anxiety is the opposite of presence. Anxiety is you're either thinking of the future or you're worried about what other people around you are thinking of you. And when you're thinking too much and too hard about how you're either being perceived or what might happen, you're not living in your true self and you're not able to express yourself in the right way. Not only that, but meditation will really help you feel more secure in yourself and who you are. I think that another great way to learn to be present besides just meditation is going on a little dinner date with yourself and just sitting down, enjoying dinner with yourself, paying for a good meal, a good drink. You're really able to appreciate who you are in that moment instead of focusing on what everyone else is thinking of you. At first, you're gonna worry how other people are perceiving you. However, when you're able to just sit and enjoy your meal, that's when you really start to become more secure in yourself and who you are, and just be present and appreciate your own life. I think that what's really prohibiting a lot of people from truly being present in the moment is their negative self-talk. And I want to challenge you for 3 days to not talk negatively about yourself at all. At the end of the day, this little nitpicky voice in your head is really controlling you, and it's making you feel really shameful about yourself. And a lot of the times, the voice in your head of what you think other people are thinking of you is not what anyone is actually thinking of you at all. Obviously, we're all going to feel insecure at times, and we're all going to be hard on ourselves. So the goal isn't to just get rid of this voice in our head. I don't think that that's possible, but really we want to just minimize the self-critical thoughts that we're having. Because these self-critical thoughts are really what's controlling our actions and probably what's making you come off maybe a little socially awkward. I promise you, most people aren't judging you in the same way that you're judging yourself. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, wait, no one's like judging me that much? And I don't even think it's that people are not judging you, but people aren't really even thinking about you at all. And I know that sounds harsh, but I think that this is actually the most important realization that you can have when you're trying to overcome your social anxiety. When you're experiencing social anxiety disorders, sometimes you can be a little self-focused. And that's because you're always wondering about how you're coming off to other people. Sometimes you need to just realize that it's not about you, and to realize that there's other people in front of you who are also just as worried about how they're coming across to other people, who also want to be loved and appreciated for who they are. When you're with other people, try to take yourself out of yourself and put your focus on the other person and trying to learn about the other person and who they are. Not only are you taking yourself out of your own head, but you're putting your focus on another human being. So you're not thinking about all of the things that make you bad. You're thinking about the other person and asking questions about them and listening to them and their stories. Hopefully you're talking to people that you think are really cool and you're enjoying yourself. Over time, you're gonna build rapport with people too, and that's a really cool thing because that's how you build relationships with other people. So just remember that conversation, connection, and relationships, they're a two-way street, and it's not all about you. And that's, in fact, a good thing. Not only that, but most people really do mean well. Most people aren't going out of their way to try to embarrass you or humiliate you. So I think that when you change your perception of, I need to be perfect in order to appease these other people and to get along with them, and change it to, most people are really accepting of my quirks. Most people are really trying to get to know me and be friends with me and aren't thinking negatively, they're thinking positively about me. Once you're able to change that perception in your head, you're able to finally be free, and just free to get to know other people, free to express yourself, and to allow other people to get to know you for who you truly are, and not just this facade that you put up. You're able to just be there, be present, and other people can appreciate that. Finally, socializing is a skill that you need to practice. It isn't something that you're born with, it's something that you do. And you can either practice it and be good at it over a period of time and get better, or you can stay in your shell and continuously avoid people. Unfortunately, there's no other way out except through, so you have to try your best to work through it. You're not gonna magically get over it. You have to really work at it. So if you can put yourself in situations where you're gonna be around people where you can take risks. That's really just the most important thing, and everything else you're gonna learn along the way. So not only did these tips really help me overcome my social anxiety disorder, but they really helped me develop my own confidence and charisma. I feel like I am a well-liked person, and obviously I don't click with every single person that I meet, but when I do find people that I click with, I can tell that I really get along with them and that they really like me and I really like them. So again, this is something that you do need to work out of, and it is a skill that you have to practice. I know that you can do it because I've done it, and even though it's scary, I think that it's so important to work on this because I think connection with other people is one of the most important things that we can have in our life. So I hope that these tips helped you, and please let me know in the comments below if any of these things helped you to change your perspective on your experience, on your social anxiety, and helped you to overcome it. Bye!